my mom and my sister picked me up because we were going to Santa Rosa, and I was actually crying. And they're like, "What's going on?" I go, I got the account.
You're getting emotional now.
I am.
Take a drink. I'm gonna do that. You know why? Because people need to see these stories, bro.
They told me I could be the president of my...
I tell you, man, I love it. Cheers, bro.
Cheers, man.
So,
Thank you.
So you're welcome. Thank you, man. So you, tell me about you. How long have you been? I've been in the real estate industry my whole fucking life.
Yeah.
So I'm always checking out my passions, and passions, later turn to business, but forget about that. I've been in real estate my majority of my adult life. You've been in the wine business since you were born into it.
Yes. Actually, I was born in Napa. My family came to Napa Valley in the late 1950s.
See, you're lucky. My parents came to Concord, California, man. It's fucked. No offense to Concord. I love Concord, but
30 miles more.
You guys had Napa. I had Concord. You had vineyards.
Yeah.
I had East Olivera Road.
So since my grandpa landed here, and it just went from generation to generation.
He landed here during what?
Through the Bracero program.
Perfect. People don't understand what that is.
Yeah.
The Bracero program was what?
The Bracero program was an agreement between the United States and the Mexican government that allowed Mexican farm workers to come to the United States and help work.
So let me get this straight. That was an agreement between two countries to bring Mexicans over.
Yes.
To work in the industry.
Yes.
And now they want Latinos out.
Correct.
That's what kills me. It's not about a political show, but it's someone told me, that immigration is a positive for this country, not because they care about Latinos.
Yeah.
It's because it's part of the labor.
Yeah.
That this country,
it's a workforce,
right?
It's a workforce, man.
So they were brought in. So I need to people understand that the Braceros program is huge, groundbreaking, because that's an influx of Mexicans to California.
Yeah.
And to Napa Valley.
Yeah.
So your abuelo came, and now what did he do in Mexico?
He was just a regular guy.
He just wanted to come here.
He came here.
And he came the legal way.
He came to leave away, more money, obviously.
Better quality of life.
Better quality of life. Then he landed here. So he worked at different agricultures up California. And then eventually he landed here in Napa. He worked at Behringer.
Got it.
Then he brought
in the 60s.
Yes, in the late 50s, 60s. Then he brought, my uncles and then my dad, as they were,
and they came straight into the wine game.
Straight to
See, man, that's cool. You're making wine. My dad put me in karate, so I was whooping ass, and you were learning how to make wine.
I was making wine. So I'm the third generation, in Napa. My son's the fourth.
How long you been in the wine game?
Since 1999.
How old were you?
20.
20. So you're 20 years old. You grew up with wine, so it was like classy. It wasn't getting drunk like today's youth.
No.
It was. So you guys were drinking wine in the 60s, 70s with Mexican food at home.
Yes.
You see, at some point, someone fucked it up by making sure that it was tacos and tequila.
That's right.
When you guys in the 60s, 70s were having Mexican food with fine wine.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. Braceros came the legit way. Then you had wine with food. At some point, the hoochies fucked it up.
Yeah, without the
thugs.
Without the Braceros, a lot of the Mexicans wouldn't be here.
Oh, no, absolutely. But what I'm talking about is that this is normal to you. You look at the restaurant industry right now, and they're charging you $30 for chicken with mole because they put it on an oversized round plate, and they're putting wine like it's different. It's not different. Your family's been doing it since they came over. Mm-hmm. That's the point, because I'm coming from the food industry.
So the thing is, my grandpa came, my dad's worked, all of them worked in the vineyards, and now I'm taking the opportunity to put all that hard work into bottle.
Before you get to that, bro, stop it. At some point, you said, I want to own my own winery.
Correct.
Okay. How long were you in the game before you decided to start thinking like that?
Probably 10 years ago.
I say that because it's a mindset that we have to always remind the youth, because your parents were hard workers. My parents were hard workers, man. They didn't come here. There's no free handouts.
Yeah.
My father came here and did 2 jobs. My mother, 2 jobs. I didn't know I was poor until I was 20 when I looked at a picture that I saw the outfits when I was 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
But I never felt poor because my parents gave us all that love, and so at some point you said, I want to get into the wine business. Now, did your dad have his own wine? No.
No.
Okay.
No,
so you were the baton that said, I want to have my own wine.
Correct.
Got it. What does it take to do that? Tell me different departments that you had to work, because people like the bottle, people like the taste, people like what they're eating it with, but I think that they're going to appreciate the journey. Just like when I cook, you've seen when I cook it from the beginning to the end. It's just a crazy, there's a journey, there's a history behind it. Same thing with wine. So give me some different departments over the years that you've worked.
Well, I started off in the cellar.
Okay.
And then I just, rapidly worked my way
What'd
up.
you do in the cellar? What happens in the cellar? Because I'm new.
I was just a cellar rat, doing barrel work, shoveling tanks, pump overs, additions, just learning the process of the winemaking from the beginning to the end.
Got it.
And then I learned rapidly, and I got my opportunity.
What's the highest position you can get in the wine industry before you go into going into your own wine?
Winemaker is probably the highest position.
So you're a winemaker?
I am, yes.
Oh man, that's badass. That's bad. So you've developed a palate for flavors.
Correct.
Got it. How long have you had this line?
Since 2019 it started.
2019? How has it gone?
It's gone so far good.
Did COVID affect?
COVID, yes, did affect. After I bottled my Sauvignon Blanc and Rosé, within a month, I was in 10 restaurants around the valley.
Got it. Good restaurants.
Yes.
Is that a sense of pride that something you created is sold at a fine dining? I mean, come on, don't be so shy.
No. Actually, when I got the account at Cornell's Resort, which is a 5-star resort.
Names until they sponsor you or buy minimum 6 cases.
Sorry,
not going to get free promotion.
So
remember that. It's about mutual respect, support, as my boy Ali G says, respect.
When I got that account, my mom and my sister picked me up because we were going to Santa Rosa, and I was actually crying. And they're like, "What's going on?" I go, I got the account.
You're getting emotional now.
I am.
Take a drink. I'm going to do that. You know why? Because people need to see these stories, bro. So I enjoy your wine. I enjoyed the little bit time that I've spent with you because you take pride from the beginning, because in my industry, I'm always trying to change and update the narrative. And so look at the time that you put into this. And you've told me the back end pricing, because we're always going to talk about business when we do these kind of shows. So I appreciate that. Talk about the Surcos, something non-emotional, so you start fucking crying.
So Surcos, Surcos really means vineyard rose.
Okay.
And I kind of was figuring a way how to tie it into my family. Here in Napa Valley.
No, I love it.
So I kind of just took it like, hey, imagine all the Surcos, all the vineyard rows that my grandpa's worked.
Yep.
My uncles, my dad, my mom, all my mom's family.
Yep.
I didn't work in the vineyards.
Yeah.
But but when I became the cellar master for a winery, I was in the vineyards
100%.
all the time.
I'm lazy. I have aero gardens, hydroponics. You guys see my chiles that I grow.
Yeah.
Remember, my grandfather had, in our backyard in Concord, California, he thought it was Nicaragua. He had all these stalks and corn and everything. We have kids over from like elementary school, we have swings in our backyard. Armando has crops and plants and shit. But that's how we grew up. What has been, I know that story of Carneros, but what is one mistake you look at that you made going back you would avoid?
One mistake?
The one that sticks out.
Let's see. Well, one mistake, I did get in trouble back in the days. I wish I wouldn't have.
No, in the winemaking, bro. Not when you beat some guys up.
Yeah, I didn't beat nobody up. Let's see. That's a hard one because.
Well, think about that.
Yeah.
Think about a mistake. Okay, let me give you another question. How old are you now?
42.
42. What would you tell a 20-year-old Luis?
I would say listen to the person that's trying to mentor you.
Yep.
Instead of fighting back. Instead of procrastinating.
100%, because what we know as we become older and wiser is that we should have listened more.
Correct.
And we didn't know as much shit as we thought we did growing up, right?
No, I thought I knew, but I was just being a hard head and a hard ass and
Got it.
F you, you don't know what you're doing.
So what's your favorite meal out there to have with your wine?
Man, I'm a steak lover.
You're a steak lover. What's your favorite steakhouse?
Ribeye.
Ribeye? Okay, favorite cut, that's good.
Ribeye steakhouse. I like Kettleman's.
Kettleman's? Okay, good. It's known for purely steaks. What sides? You like sides with it or no?
Mashed potatoes. I love mashed potatoes.
So steak and mashed potatoes.
Asparagus. I like mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Zucchinis, all that.
You see that, and that's what I love is to break barriers, because we can eat carne asada.
Yeah, all the time.
But we like our ribeyes. We like our tomahawks. Mm-hmm. We can have our beans on the side, or we can have asparagus and truffles. You know, what about a person, dead or alive, that you could have dinner with? Wine and conversation. Who would that be?
It'd probably be my grandpa.
Yeah? Nah, man, I love that. I love that because he not get to see you do this. Yeah. Now you're gonna make me cry. my papatang, you know? No, that's badass. That's bad. Biggest pet peeve in the wine industry?
Biggest pet peeve in the wine industry is, let's see. People really don't listen to winemakers. Like I didn't listen to winemakers.
Got it.
And I wish people would just listen a little more to them and like, hey, you know what? Try this. Or what I don't like is winemakers they're set to a certain way and they don't like to try new things. Like, hey, try this.
You say that now because you look back.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct. And there's still winemakers to this day where this is the way we do it here and this is the way it's going to be done. And
Yeah.
well, try this because I've tried it.
Yeah.
You know.
Where do you want to be? Where do you want to take Surcos in the next 3 years?
I would love to blow it up and be well known here in the Napa Valley.
Mm-hmm. Why well known? Why is that important?
Just to be known that a Mexican Latino can make great wine here in the Napa Valley.
In Napa Valley.
Correct.
Absolutely, bro. Well, hey, it's one of my favorites. Fucking love everything about it, bro. So thank you for your time today, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So obviously, it's one of my favorite wines, and I'm just getting into the, kind of like my passion of wine. But Surcos, you saw there's passion behind it. And what I like is the Braceros program, what he talked about. Do you realize his family has been in the wine industry longer than he's been alive? Because he's 40 and they came in the 50s, el abuelo, and Surcos has each road, there's a history behind it. If there's a lot of things I want you guys to get out of the kind of this streaming podcast that we're doing, video podcast, is to, I guess, not that you don't appreciate, but just take the time to try to see and imagine the history. Imagine the history behind the bottle, the history behind every dish that you try. And so you see the passion. Luis, he was born here. And the reality is people are probably gonna look at him like he's in the fields. This kid has worked every industry in the winemaking genre to create his own wine, to be in some of the top restaurants. And he wants to blow it up. So I love what I do, and I hope you guys are enjoying it.